Alright, so a few weeks ago I visited the Getty with a few friends. There was art with all kinds when I was walking around and exploring the museum. It was nice to see different techniques that other artists had experienced in their lives to create such pieces. Out of all the sculpture and paintings, I had a sculpture that had caught my interest. And wait, please excuse my pronunciation. It was the bust of two sisters, Brigitte Francis Elizabeth de Lanchier and Adelaide Julie Merleau de Neuville, created by Jean Baptiste Pagile. These busts represent the daughters of the architect Jean Charles Garnier d'Isle, which is Pagiel's friend and colleague. So the bust of the older sister Elizabeth depicts her as a young woman with an elegant hairstyle and a dress with intricate details. Her expression is serene, and she appears to be looking off into the distance. The bust is carved from white marble and stands just over 2 feet tall. As for the bust of her other sister, Adelaide, which is also carved from white marble and stands over 2 feet tall, she is depicted with similar hairstyle and dressed as her sister, but with a slightly different expression. Her head is turned slightly to the side, and she appears to be looking directly into the viewer. So, Brigitte, the elder sister, is alert and dignified, while Adelaide, the younger sister, appears to be exuberant and lighthearted. Although probably not intended as pendants, the busts gain a psychological depth and a bond of intimacy when displayed together. They exemplify the probing realism and sensitive portrayal of personality typically of Pagiel's approach to portraiture. For the first element of the line, Pagiel's skillful use of line is evident in the intricate details of the sisters' clothing and hairstyle. The line of the clothing create a sense of texture and movement. While the lines of the hairstyles add a sense of elegance and refinement, Pagiel's also used lines to create a contour of the sisters' faces, emphasizing their delicate features and creating a sense of depth and dimensionality. The sculpture carved the fleshy dimple features of the sisters with little idealization. As for the second element of color, there is a meaning to be derived from the use of white marbles in their busts. The purity and luminosity of the marble give the bust a sense of elegance and refinement, which is emphasizing the beauty of the sisters in a timeless, classic way. The absence of a color also allows the viewers to focus on delicate lines and contours of the sisters' face, emphasizing their individuality and humanity. Pajals made use of natural variations in the marbles to create shadows and highlights, which used to bust a sense of depth and dimensionality. The subtle variations in color also add the sense of realism, creating a lifelike quality to the sculpture. Finally, the element of light. The use of light is especially important in these busts, as they were created in the neoclassical style, which emphasizes in realism and naturalism in sculpture. They play the light and shadow on the surface of the bust, creating a sense of movement and life, as though the sisters' faces are gently shifting and turning. Okay, so as for the next art piece, I did find it interesting that there is a painting attributed to an unknown artist. So I picked this painting, which is the next piece, Landscape with Orpheus, which is a 16th century artwork that depicts the mythological musician Orpheus in a natural setting. In the painting, Orpheus is shown playing his lyre in pastoral landscape. He's surrounded by animals, like including deer, sheep, and a dog, who are all listening with his music. In the distance, a river flows through the landscape, and the mountain rises up in the background. The painting reflects the Renaissance interest in classical mythology and the natural world. Orpheus was a pretty popular subject in Renaissance art. He was seen as a symbol of power of music and the arts. The natural setting in the painting is also typical of Renaissance landscape art, which is sought to capture the beauty and harmony of the natural world. So for the first element of line, the painting is generally soft and curving, which creates a sense of grace and fluidity. For example, the lines used to depict the flowing river are sinuous and meandering, which creates a movement of sense of movement. Similarly, the lines used to depict the contours of the mountains in the background and gently curving, which creates a sense of depth and distance. The use of line in a painting also serves to unify the various elements of the composition. The lines used to depict the animals and the figures of Orpheus and his lyre are integrated into the landscape, which creates a sense of harmony and balance. The lines of the figures echo the curves and contours of the landscape, creating a sense of unity between the human and the natural world. For the second element of color, which plays a significant role in creating a sense of mood and atmosphere. The colors in the paintings are primarily earthy and muted, with shades of green, brown, and blue. The use of muted colors serves to create a sense of tranquility and harmony in the painting. The soft greens and browns of the landscape suggest a world that it is in balance, and the blue in the sky and the water create a sense of calmness and serenity. These colors contribute a feeling of peacefulness that is consistent with the pastoral theme in the painting. The artist also uses colors to create a sense of depth and distance in the painting. The mountains in the background depicts the shades of blue and the gray, which creates a sense of atmospheric perspective and suggests that they are far in the distance. So finally, for the element of light, the artist used light to create a sense of depth and three-dimensionality in the painting. The light, or the mountains in the background, are depicted in a lighter, cooler tone than the foreground, which creates a sense of atmospheric perspective and suggests that they are far in the distance. The soft, diffused light creates a sense of tranquility and serenity and suggests that the world that it is in harmony itself. So the use of light is create a peaceful atmosphere which is consistent with the pastoral theme of the painting and reflects a belief in the importance of living in harmony with nature.